Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. In this episode, I interview Angelica Weaver. She's a strategic intervention coach dedicated to help success-driven women heal from the emotional stress due to poor boundaries by owning the power by themselves. She had a dream that started by having impossible dreams made possible, healing herself with self-love and having helped live stress-free. She's a really inspiring lady and I'm so excited to be interviewing her. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Anna.
It's really great to have you on the podcast because I know I think this is the third time lucky I cancelled on you a few times. So I really value your time today. And I know we only connected not that long ago, really. It was in the middle of the whole pandemic, everyone locking down, schools closing, Zoom outages. And we connected on social media on Facebook. So it's really great to connect with you because I know you've got a really inspiring story to share.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, really, really value your time. And of course, in the Freedom Podcast, we focus on these 3 pillars. Freedom in love, which everyone always thinks is romantic relationships, but it's more to me around self-care and self-love and just the love that we give out to the world. Freedom in money, because obviously financial freedom helps, and freedom in mind. So, just that mindset encompasses it all really together. And I know just before we went live, we were talking about stress and the impact of, social platforms and the world that we're currently in now with everything with the pandemic going so much digital. So I'd really love you to kind of share how you're doing, because you're doing some great stuff and helping people.
Thank you.
How did you get to where you are today? How did it all start?
Well, it all started seems like ages ago. I was working at a company coordinating English classes at companies. So it was crazy to be in traffic almost all day long, and the rest of the day was with human resources on the phone or with teachers kind of live, and it was hectic. So I started to push online things. It didn't happen. And long story short, I was married to a toxic relationship that I think came from the same thing. And then everything kind of fell apart, and I also popped the bubble because I was really fed up and really stressed out. I lived constantly burnt out. And it was a breakthrough. Like my main customers stopped hiring us because theoretically it was too long a relationship. And then I got the divorce. My life transformed completely. Like 3 months were hard because the cat I had adopted died, like within a week. So it was like I spent 3 months without even a pet in my house, which were the hardest, perhaps, because I love pets.
Yeah. That's interesting. When I split up with my toxic relationship, my dog passed away. Maybe it's like a sign that, it's like a new beginning, isn't it? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So
Sad.
This thing, the cat passing away was really tragic because she was a baby. I don't know if it was a she or a he because it was so tiny. It fit in my hand. So it was really tiny. So, and it passed away for feline, like it's called feline panleukopenia, I think. But it's like parvovirus, so I could not have dogs or cats in the house.
No. Okay.
So even if it was disinfected almost every day. And my cousins that are vets told me 3 months, and it was like,
Yeah, exactly.
So then time went by, and in 2017, after looking for jobs and hitting walls and what have you, I decided to build my life as I wanted it. And I really listen to Tony Robbins often. So I sat with, I would say, with a coffee with myself,
Yeah.
and I said, what is your dream life? What does it look like? Even if it's impossible, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. What does it look like? So I wrote living in the forest, probably in a cabin. I was very aware that the forest in Mexico is not necessarily safe. So I wrote probably abroad. And it had everything. And it said, if I remarry ever, it has to be to the man of my dreams. And if that doesn't exist, I will never remarry. Like, but it was catering to me, which
Yeah.
was the important thing, to what I loved, to what I liked, because this life is not about, in my vision, it's not about not working. Retirement is not about disappearing. This life is about living a life you don't need a vacation from,
Yeah, exactly.
like
Exactly.
living a permanent vacation. It sounds crazy, but
I think
it's
that's
not
what I
crazy.
saw on your social media. I think that when we connected, there was some stuff around that, because it's true. It is like you only have one life, and it's everyone talks about work-life balance, but actually, I've spoken to my boys about this, about how, do something you love. Yes, we want you to do your English and your maths at school, but just focus on the things that you love. Because if you can make a job out of that, if you can earn money out of things that you're doing that you enjoy, why do we separate it to, oh, I'm going to do this job that I really, really hate just for money, and then I'm waiting for when I retire, so I've got some time. You could die before then. While you're living, it's all part of a journey. Life is all experiences, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of just, it's all as one for me, that just
And
do what you love, and it's
it
a lifestyle.
in the subject I like of my area of specialty, if you do something you hate, it only adds up to the stress,
Mm.
which actually I have never found a study where stress is counted as minutes less of your life, but I'll count it as cigarettes,
Yeah.
because cigarette is my crowning toxic behavior, and I did used to smoke. It's the crowning toxic behavior. It's like, and that same goes for sugar and for less socially accepted behaviors like alcohol
Yeah.
or worse. It's it's not that you do it, it's why you do it.
Exactly.
It's an exit to something
To
that you
something
don't like.
else. Exactly. Exactly.
And that will just shorten your life. So it says each cigarette is 7 minutes less. Well, let's say stress is 7 minutes less.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Every toxic thought, every toxic behavior, it's 7 minutes less. Just because I know that statistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, for me, it's been super transformational. And I did marry the love of my life. I do live in
Hey,
the forest
yeah.
today.
That's fab.
And at the time I wrote it down, it seemed absolutely impossible. It was like, yeah, but let's go for it.
So
So
you're in quite a rural place then in the US. I know you said you were in North Carolina, didn't you?
yes, I am.
Yeah. Were you in? How long did you stay in Mexico? When did you move to the US from Mexico?
6 months ago.
Okay. Okay.
Six. The thing is, and this has been really, I invite everybody to do the same. And if not with me or you, with anybody else, but it's like, it's so worth it to really own uh, I hate repeating, but own your own power, own the things you love,
Mm.
and move from there to your mindset, because it is possible, but it's a lot easier to do it if you love it, because you will self-motivation and mindset will come naturally if you love it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
it didn't work this way. Never mind. We'll try again. And
Yeah.
we'll try again.
I
Because
think most people are in this comfortable life, aren't they? So it feels uncomfortable to do something that they dream about, or they say, oh, well, that's for other people, that's not for me, because they're not confident, or there's fear associated with it. Because I've always said to a lot of people that, you know, you move into that uncomfortable, if you're feeling uncomfortable about something, it's great, because you're actually growing and you're
of course.
actually learning something. Whereas being comfortable, it's just, you're just stuck, or just in the same kind of, it's a bit boring really being comfortable.
But you cannot see it.
Mm.
That when you are in your comfort zone, and I speak from firsthand, like when I worked like crazy and I hated it, and I got married to the toxic person. It's not that I wasn't aware, probably. It was just like societal, societally speaking, I needed to grow up
Yeah.
and be an adult and stop dreaming queen dreams, because adults live in reality and work for the money
Yeah, exactly.
and exercise whenever there's a teacher available of whichever thing, even if you hate it. And I don't think that's what this is all about. I think that aids or enables illnesses.
Definitely.
We have talked before about type 2 diabetes and lifestyle. And I believe illnesses like type 2 diabetes, and I know that certain types of cancer are stress responsive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it just doesn't make sense to just live in that comfort zone that is not really comfortable, but it's what you have because you're an adult.
It's like society's living in this toxic world, isn't it? With everything, with the foods that they eat and just the lifestyle and the stress that they're creating. We don't realize, well, most people don't realize the damage that that's doing internally, you know, the stress, the
And
long
and
hours and sort of.
that's something that I've found very powerful of this pandemic.
Mm.
I I do believe it's super bad for the economy and for people losing jobs. But on the other hand, it has been really healing.
Yeah.
I think it's been also an opportunity to stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, exactly. People have reflected, haven't they? People, it's given them a chance that their job that they thought they'd be in till they retire actually might not be now, or yeah, it was I think it's just been a massive big wake up for a lot of people, really.
Yeah, and also a massive wake up that how do I say this nicely? That living to work is not living.
Yeah.
The online world has proven that it's okay for a kettle to go off, like while you're in a conference call, or even your dogs go banana, like my dogs will go banana shortly. But it's like, that is life,
And
not the corporate code word.
somebody was saying, I saw on I challenged them on Facebook. Not in I didn't get into an argument, but they'd put, my husband is driving round the house because he's not allowed to come home because I'm on a Zoom work call, and if he comes home, all the dogs are going to bark. And I was like, oh, everybody's working from home and everybody's on Zoom. So why does it, everybody's in, like, most companies, I know some people are out, but generally, I said 80% of the UK are in the same boat. So surely anyone understands that realness, you know. I had this vision of his husband driving around for the sake of it.
Poor husband.
And their response was, no, but my dogs will literally go crazy, you just don't understand. I just left it at that. But I was like, I was really surprised to see it.
It's crazy, and it's not. That for me proves how much the corporate facade is not healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not healthy. It just isn't. And in that same train of thought, I do believe we can keep professional.
Definitely. But you
Like,
can be a human at the same time, can't you?
exactly. Like, once I saw in a Zoom call a woman doing the dishes. If you're going to do the dishes, kill your camera.
Yeah.
It's really rude for everybody else. Even if we cannot hear you, it's really rude. Like, it's like, I just listening. I agree. Just kill the camera. It does. We know you're here. We don't
Unless
have.
you're doing a cookery demonstration, you actually show people.
No, she was not. And it's
That's
like,
different.
it's like crazy. It's just like, yeah, the cattle, the dogs, that's okay. That, like, from an area of possibility, or a certain imaginary boundary, if you may, of things that are life, and it's okay that they happen.
Yeah.
Like, one day I was having this professional call. I work, or I'm volunteer, and now it will be sort of paid, to a veteran institution called Charlie Mike Life for U.S. veterans. And my husband is a veteran himself. So
Right.
he came in and the dogs went bananas. And he, of course, like, says what he says always. And they were like, and bad words. And my friend vet, I told him, I'm sorry, my favorite vet just walked in. And he laughed and he said, I know. But it's just like, it's life. And that is like kind of okay, because it's home. It's not the corporate office where everybody's putting this image that adds to stress.
It does definitely add to stress. And I think everyone need, like you say, this year I think people have reflected on it and had that pause. Not everybody will change, but a lot of people have had that wake up. Because I just know that from speaking to people who I never thought would probably change their lifestyle, and they are. It might not be a big job thing, but they might just be prioritizing other things now.
Yeah. And having when you start prioritizing, like what we were speaking of, self-love and mindset, and the money will naturally come in.
Yeah,
It's something that happens. It's, if you speak about it in terms of energy,
definitely.
you cannot give what you do not have, which is why self-love and self-care and self-worth play a super important role in life. Then it's the second part that we were speaking of, that is mindset. You can cover your house in post-its. And if the thing you're doing, if you're doing something you hate, the post-its will not work.
No, exactly.
Like, I am brilliant at, I don't know what I really hate. At
it's like
running around in
your
traffic.
subconscious. You've got your conscious and your subconscious, haven't you? So you
Yeah.
might be saying or looking at these things, but if your internal is not linking the same, then it's not going to happen. And I think that's where probably myself and you have both had things that have kind of we've focused on ourselves first, which has then helped us help other people. And like you say, the income has come with that because we've started at the root, right, really, and kind of reflected that way. So tell everybody how you can help people, because I know you're doing some good stuff.
Well, I am a coach because of my dream job. I only I do like having live shops, which is at the moment impossible, but I do hold an online practice, which was part of my dream job. I have an audio course that I a challenge going on right now on my RISEnRAWR group on Facebook.
Okay, fine.
The challenge started on Monday, the 14th, and it will go until Monday, the 21st. I typically do not work on weekends, but I will go live for a little bit or share an article.
Yeah.
Just to share something. And today I will be sharing how I came to my Showing Up Victorious audio course, which is basically an audio course with forever access. It has three units for everybody to see and use and whatever. And what it does, it helps you build the structure of the things you love.
Right, yeah.
So, because for me, that was the breaker. Even in the job that I hated, the breaker of stress is structure from things you love.
Yeah, exactly.
And I am a therapist and my license is Mexican, but it's like my therapist friends will tell me, you do not tell people or patients what to do. I am not. I am giving them tools.
Tools to basically work that out for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not telling them you should. No.
Exactly. Because whether it's lifestyle or whether it's a relationship that's no good for you, whether it's a job that's no good for you, we never listen to that. That's why, we talk about like going to school, it's that scenario, school pupil, isn't it? Or go to the doctors and it's doctor patient, and we're always getting told off, aren't we? And we kind of expect that scenario. Do we listen? Probably not.
No.
Let's only out of fear we might do as a child, being at school, but you've got to
But it
give
won't
them the
work.
skills to really think for themselves, and that's when we change, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's what, when you sit and have, like my friend used to say, therapist friend, your coffee with yourself and really go deep.
Yeah.
But that's why I start with the same tool that broke my 2017 into success story, because that's when everything started changing. As I said, in 2017, in January, I knew my husband because he was my friend, but it was like an impossible persona.
Yeah.
We met online. So it was like, yeah, he's my online friend.
Yeah.
That was it. And I had written this ideal man for me, or the love of my life, with every single wish that I had since I was little.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
And it was like, if he exists, maybe so, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. But that's the breaking point. When you write down in that kind of circle of life, the main idea or the governing idea to your dream, that's the breakthrough.
Yeah.
That's where the breakthrough lays. And it cannot come from anywhere but from things you love. I, of course, can't tell my clients what to do with it, but it's not my ideal. It's your ideal where you were going to pursue, not mine.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, because it's everyone's different on what they love, don't they? And it has to start with them. But it sounds
Yeah.
fab that you give them this toolbox of, so if by the time this podcast goes live, it might be, the challenge might have been finished. How can people get access to have you got a group that people can access?
The challenge will be kept live on Facebook. I will order it. It has hashtag RISEnRAWR challenge. It's Rise and Roar with an A, RAWR.
Okay, brilliant.
Because RISEnRAWR is two acronyms. Is resourceful, inspired, soaring, extraordinary, into raw, warm, responsive, RAWR. Yeah. Raw, authentic, warm, responsive relationships. But that raw, authentic, warm, responsive starts with yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot give anything you don't have starting from love.
No, yeah.
So it was inspired in my own story, from the toxic marriage, from the divorce, it's not okay to get married or be married to fit a profile. It's not okay.
No, exactly. Exactly.
It's not okay to get
That's
married
ego,
or
isn't it?
into
It's
a
ego.
relationship.
That's ego that does that, isn't it?
Oh yeah. But ego, and this is something that is hard, or it has been hard for me to explain to people that do not understand mindset a lot.
Mm.
It's not to do with mindset. Ego is your most societal self telling you what to do and how to do it. Like when I was little, I read a comic strip by Disney that's called Mickey Mouse and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. And this is not the Fantasia Sorcerer's Apprentice. This is about a hypnotist. I believe the media has hypnotized us into this fitting those social profile
Yeah.
that like was the way to go. And like you said, Anna, some people are really wishing or wishing and longing for that to be true again.
Yeah, they are.
And they will not change, even with a whole year now of the pandemic. Almost, it's been 10 months.
Exactly, because people just got used to these new behaviours, even like wearing masks over in the UK. So, once you have that repetitive new behaviour, we know that, don't we? When we talk about lifestyle and changing different things, it becomes once you have that repetitive, it just sticks and it becomes a habit. So, and corporates have changed the way they work with digital. So there's going to be a lot of things. People keep saying, "Oh, when this is over," I'm like, it's we're in a new world now. And I know you've kind of shared this around sort of challenges that you've had and getting through those, because I think maybe you probably say that like setting up this new life was probably your biggest challenge, changing all of your stuff, and obviously moving countries as well, and exchanging for a new perfect husband. But what would you say is your proudest moment today?
I think those are my biggest successes. My largest challenges have made me resilient. Like my largest challenge was when I was little, I wore glasses. Little, I mean from 2 to 9.
Yeah.
So I tend to be clumsy and I hate it. And that's what also made me love myself more. Like in time, I have had the ability I have had the ability to look back and re-own my self-image and re-own that I will love myself regardless. If I was not skinny, if I wore glasses again, because now very rarely everyone and well, these are dirty, but anyone will ever see me with glasses, because then that image comes up. And then I met my husband, and a short time ago, he told me, "You did not know I like girls with glasses, did you?" And I said, "No."
He is Mr. Right. It's perfect.
But it was just like, I that was not a trait, because I only wear glasses for reading now. And I do have like even sunglasses, I don't like wearing them. But like re-owning, and that is why I really invite our audience to own my stress proposal now because of the pandemic. At first it was like, find something that will help you like smell the roses and work more from home, or do a job that is more flexible. Now work from home has become kind of the problem.
Yeah.
So I invite our audiences really to find what you love. And it doesn't matter if you start with 7 minutes or an hour or half an hour. A lot of dreams have been built at night
Yeah.
and in extra time. If you're willing to work for corporate extra time, work that extra time for yourself.
Definitely.
And now that we're not driving anybody, or not as much, Use this time you spent in traffic.
Exactly. There's loads of people have said they've had more time like that.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had to travel to and fro from work. I think, yeah, you're completely right. And I think as we grow, it's funny, isn't it? As we're younger, I said to my son's teacher recently, you know, what do you say if any of the children say about their dreams? And she looked a bit confused. And I was like, because I said, my point is that as children, we have big dreams. So children say things, oh, I want to be a professional footballer, or I want to be a famous singer, or my two was like famous YouTuber, you know. And I said, as adults, we'd laugh, don't we? We do laugh at it. And like teachers are so important. We always remember one teacher that inspired us at school and a teacher that really didn't inspire us. And that we might have been scared of or just didn't like. And as adults, we kind of say that again.
So young, because when I was in pre-K, I think, or kindergarten, my dad started hating teachers. He said, or they said, that I used to draw very well. But then I went to school. And then when I came back home, I told my dad that I did not know how to draw because I hadn't been taught at school.
Yeah.
And I happen to remember where that came from. I used to draw my house as a cube because it was a cube. It was a cube.
Yeah, like 3D.
And it had like stages or floors, and like head to bottom crystals. So it was kind of a crystal cube. And the real experience is only accessible by hypnosis, I think, but it's, I do remember the teacher telling me that's not a house. And she drew the house, you know, the like double roofed house with a chimney and the garden with daisies and an apple tree. And just like, and when I remember, and this is like what I remember, going around to my aunt's house and looking around the houses in Mexico City and thinking, this person is crazy. There are no houses like that here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but really, it's the editing so badly, because then when I grew older, and this is something I'd never really communicated with my parents, because I think they hadn't seen Scooby-Doo until my little nephew was born. But it's like, I want to be an investigator, like Vilma. I wanted to be a criminologist.
Yeah,
but I did not know
I wanted to be a forensic scientist.
Yeah, I did not know that was the word. And it was just like, I want to be an investigator that learns from books and gets bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea was there. And then when time went by, I read Marie Curie's bio and I was very impressed. So the following project was build something for the world with my husband.
I like that.
It was crazy, but it was, and you're right. People will look at me like, you're an alien. or teachers.
I definitely think if like we start off, don't we, in this world, like with all this enthusiasm and all these dreams, and then it's different people that kind of put like you got to fit into these boxes, and then if you get and then sometimes people wake up and then go back to those dreams or go back to dreams.
Would tell me monsters do not exist. And then I will agree with Stephen King. Oh no, monsters are real and ghosts are real and they live inside us. And now as a coach, I am trying to make sure I help my clients to not let them win.
Yeah, I like that. So I always ask everybody at the end of our interview, what does because it's a freedom podcast. So what does freedom mean to you, Angelica?
Freedom means to me to succeed and live the very balance that I preach and that I am now living.
Yeah, brilliant. Great stuff. Well, send me over some of those links. We'll put, if anybody wants to know more about maybe Angelica's challenge or about her group or how she can help you with all these tools for you to be able to find out what you love and what you have, you know, what would make you happy. And to maybe take that step forward, really, to start changing some of the things in your life. Then we'll put all the links, so you'll be able to see that in the show notes and also on YouTube, and we'll put it in the notes. But I really, really appreciate your time. I'm sure everybody will join me in saying the same, that Angelica is such an inspiring character. You're doing some really good stuff, and keep being you and keep sharing this with the world. It's really, really good stuff. So thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Anna, for this interview. And I'm very happy that we made it, because the last 2 times it was something out of our control that just did not happen.
But it shows you, with resilience and determination, we get there in the end.
I know.
Thanks ever so much. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.